Once upon a time, a person went to Gautam Buddha seeking advice on how to control his emotions. The person was struggling with anger and frustration, and he was looking for a way to manage his emotions better. With a warm smile, Buddha asked the man to sit down. He began to tell a story about a king. This king lived in a wealthy kingdom. One day, he chose to visit a nearby kingdom. The ruler of that kingdom was known for his intelligence. When the king arrived, he was greeted warmly. The neighboring king had arranged a big meal to honor him. During the meal, the king found a fly in his soup. He was upset and asked his servant to bring a fresh bowl of soup. The neighboring king saw this and said, "Please, your majesty, don't be upset. It's only a small fly. It's not important." But the king said, "I can't ignore such things. Even a small fly can make me angry." The neighboring king smiled and offered some advice. "It was not the fly that upset you, but your reaction to it. You have the ability to control your feelings. Don't let them control you." The king understood this wise advice. When he went back to his kingdom, he started to practice not reacting to things that used to make him angry. He discovered he was able to stay calm even when things were difficult, and he made better choices. The power of not reacting is a valuable lesson for everyone. We often react to situations without thinking, and this can lead to problems. Reacting with anger and frustration can harm our relationships and stop us from making clear decisions. But we must remember that not reacting doesn't mean we should ignore our feelings. Feelings are a normal part of being human, and it's important to recognize them. Instead of reacting quickly, we should take time to understand our feelings and respond thoughtfully. In another place, a young man named Mike lived. Mike was very emotional. He would often react quickly to things that upset him. He would get angry and say hurtful things, which would lead to fights and hurt feelings. One day, Mike made a decision to take control of his emotions. He understood that his quick reactions were causing more harm than good, and he wanted to make a change. He started practicing mindfulness and meditation. These practices helped him to be more aware of his thoughts and feelings. He also started trying not to react quickly when he felt upset. Instead, he would take a moment, breathe deeply, and think about the situation before responding. At the beginning, controlling his emotions was hard for Mike. He would still feel angry and frustrated. However, he would stop himself from reacting quickly. As he continued practicing, he found it easier to manage his feelings. Mike noticed that his relationships with other people were getting better. He was not fighting and hurting people's feelings anymore. Instead, he was able to talk calmly and thoughtfully, which helped him build stronger relationships. One day, a friend of Mike's came to him for advice. His friend was going through a hard time and was feeling very sad. Mike listened to his friend's problems and offered comforting words. His friend thanked him and said, "You always know just what to say. You never get angry or upset." Mike smiled and said, "It's not that I never feel angry or upset. It's just that I've learned to control my feelings and not let them control me. It's a powerful tool that has helped me improve my relationships and my overall well-being." Mike's friend was impressed and asked him how he learned to control his emotions. Mike shared his experience with mindfulness and the power of not reacting. He encouraged his friend to try it too, and his friend was thankful for the advice. Over time, Mike became known for his calm and thoughtful way of handling things. He was able to manage difficult situations easily, and people admired him for his strength and ability to stay calm. He continued practicing mindfulness and not reacting quickly, and he found that it brought him peace and happiness. The power of not reacting is a lesson that we can all learn from. It takes practice and patience, but the rewards are worth it. By controlling our feelings, we can improve our relationships, make better choices, and live a more fulfilling life. The story of the King and Mike teaches us that we have the power to control our feelings. We may not be able to control what happens to us, but we can control how we react to it. By practicing mindfulness and not reacting quickly, we can learn to control our emotions and respond thoughtfully. It's a powerful tool that can help us improve our relationships, our well-being, and our overall quality of life. So let's take the time to practice, and cultivate this powerful skill and let it change our lives for the better. Anger will always be there as long as we hold on to resentment. But if we let go of resentment, anger will go away. Remember, controlling anger is like driving a moving chariot. We are in control. Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and hoping the other person gets hurt. The person who can control himself is greater than the person who can win 1,000 battles. Don't be guided by your reactions. Be guided by your actions. Peace comes from within, so don't look for it outside. In a disagreement, the moment we feel angry, we stop looking for the truth and start fighting for ourselves. The cause of suffering is attachment. If you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion. Letting go gives us freedom, and freedom is necessary for happiness. If we hold on to anything, anger, worry, or things, we can't be free. It's better to say one peaceful word than 1,000 meaningless ones. All that we are is the result of what we think. Respond, don't react. Respond with reason, not emotion. In the end, 3 things matter: how much you loved, how gently you lived, and how gracefully you let go of things not meant for you. Happiness doesn't decrease by being shared. We are shaped by our thoughts. We become what we think. Don't live in the past. Don't dream of the future. Concentrate on the present moment. 3 things can't be hidden for long: the sun, the moon, and the truth. The only way to find true happiness is to let go of your attachment to things and people. The mind is powerful. What you think, you become. It's our own mind, not our enemies or friends, that leads us to do wrong things. An idea that is developed and acted on is more important than an idea that is only an idea. The problem is, you think you have time. The mind is like water. When it's disturbed, it's hard to see clearly. When it's calm, everything becomes clear. The tongue can hurt without drawing blood. Don't seek to follow in the steps of the wise. Seek what they sought. Purity or impurity depends on oneself. Nobody can purify another. Let's be thankful. If we didn't learn a lot today, at least we learned a little. If we didn't learn a little, at least we didn't get sick. If we got sick, at least we didn't die. So let's all be thankful. The only real failure in life is not being true to the best one knows. The past is gone. The future is not here. There's only one moment for you to live. Being lazy is a quick way to death, and being diligent is a way of life. Foolish people are lazy. Wise people are diligent. Hatred is not ended by hatred, but only by love. This is the eternal rule. What a monk keeps thinking about becomes the direction of his mind. Don't dwell in the past. Don't dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. The mind is powerful. What you think, you become. The mind, just like a sword, can be used to destroy or to protect. It's our choice how we use it. It's a weapon that can cause harm or bring peace. By keeping a peaceful mind, we can bring happiness to ourselves and others. There are only 2 mistakes one can make on the path to truth: not starting and not going all the way. It's important to start the journey and keep going, no matter how hard it may seem. The journey may be long, but the rewards are worth it. Just as a candle cannot burn without fire, humans cannot live without a spiritual life. Our spirits give us strength and hope. They help us to keep going when times are tough. By taking care of our spirits, we can live a fuller and more meaningful life. It is easy to see the faults of others, but difficult to see one's own faults. We should focus on improving ourselves instead of pointing out the faults of others. We all have our weaknesses. By acknowledging them, we can work to improve them. Do not look for a sanctuary in anyone except yourself. You are your own best friend. You have the power to make your own decisions and to shape your own life. By believing in yourself, you can achieve anything. A disciplined mind brings happiness. By training our minds, we can achieve peace and happiness. We can learn to control our emotions and not let them control us. With discipline, we can accomplish our goals and live a happier life. Even death is not to be feared by those who have lived wisely. By living a meaningful life, we can face death without fear. We can take comfort in knowing that we have lived our lives well and made a difference in the world. To understand everything is to forgive everything. When we understand why people act the way they do, we can find it in our hearts to forgive them. Forgiveness brings peace and healing. Your work is to discover your work and then, with all your heart, to give yourself to it. Find what you love to do and dedicate yourself to it. Your passion will give your life meaning and purpose. In the end, it's not about how much you have, but how much you've given. The true measure of success is not what you've gained, but what you've given to others. By giving, we can find true happiness and fulfillment. To sum it up, the story of the king and Mike teaches us that we have the power to control our reactions. We can choose not to let anger or frustration control us. Instead, we can respond with thoughtfulness and kindness. This ability can help us improve our relationships, our well-being, and our overall quality of life. It's a lesson that we can all learn from and apply to our own lives.